Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for sharing your energy with me today. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Jane. I am a psychic and an energy intuitive. And on this channel, we connect with energies that bring messages to provide assistance with insight, guidance, education, truth, confirmations, to help us and guide us on our soul's path. All of our sessions here are timeless, and whenever you find this, it is the right time for you. Also, I only take what resonates. Don't try to force anything. And with that, let the magic begin. So I get pre-downloads before I start a reading. And I've had several really important downloads today. Actually, they started last night. However, I'm just going to keep moving forward as fast as I can because it seemed to be pretty intense. And um, I'm pretty sure, I'm not pretty sure, I am 100% sure that your guides are trying to give all of us a message, because this is for the masses, is what I heard. Now, um, okay, so I'm just going to start here with this here because these have a lot to do with my readings. So all of my hearts have been like the small hearts that I have on this have all been flipped upside down. So I think you're somebody that has turned your heart over, like has your heart's been through a lot. Also, I noticed I didn't even realize that I had two peace symbols that are upside down. And when I looked it up, what those actually mean, it's a symbol that's on a ruin. So, and that ruin actually talks about spiritual protection. It also talks about defense, guarding us against negative influences. And I'm going to tell you that really actually had a lot to do with one of my meditation that I had today. And I'll explain that a little bit later on. However, also there's a frog that came out here and the infinity symbol. And these peace symbols that are upside down. So I don't think it's that you've lost your peace. I think it just has to do with that ruin about the spiritual protection. So with that, I'm just going to move that out of the way here, and I'm going to move on. I'm just going to leave everything the way it is. I'm just push that out of the way because we have a really important message. Spirit has been giving me these like little mini downloads. Like I said, it started like last night. So they're talking about they just said that they have a big message, and the message is to keep following your intuition and your instincts, trust in the divine plan. They're here to assist us, and they're promising a future that will be rooted from present efforts. Now, when I hear the word rooted, that tells me that they're talking about building a strong foundation for yourself. We all are building a strong foundation. They're talking about, I actually heard when I was out walking, because I had like 3 different encounters with bees, and I didn't even think that it was warm enough for the bees to be out, because our weather is just early spring here, and like there's very few flowers. I mean, only the dandelions and a few little moss type flowers are actually in bloom now, and like some crocuses, but that's it. Everything else has not even started. Like the leaves aren't even on the trees yet. So I thought it was really odd that the bees were out so soon. Anyway, a bee literally came and circled me, like a complete circle around my aura. And I thought it was really strange that it did that. And I actually heard in my ears, they're clearing the energy grids to help higher energy to flow easier for more people, to lift more people into the higher energy. So I thought, oh, well, that's really amazing. That's great, right? So they said that the angels are working really hard behind the scenes. And though you might feel like you're not actually moving forward, a lot is being done behind the scenes. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that, you're still moving forward, even though you probably have days that you don't feel like you're actually accomplishing anything in your spiritual, energetic sense, because I saw an arrow and it was completely directed. It wasn't like, flopping around. It was a straight arrow directly heading towards its target, but it was in like slow motion. The other thing too is I was given this message that this was for the masses, that this reading was going to be for the masses. Now, they also mentioned to me about listening without seeing but not hearing, and the difference of that. They're saying that the listening without seeing is the trust in the divine. So, um, it's something about hearing and listening. There's a lot about the hearing because uh, it came out a bit later too in a vision that I had. Now, Spirit is really happy about this listening without seeing. And I think that is more people are trusting in the higher energies. They're trusting in something outside of themselves. Like they're trusting in a higher force, I just heard. Now, I had quite a bit of visions too, which was, I get visions anyway, but usually not this many visions. Now, I had a vision of a woman sitting in, uh a meditative like position basically, and there was like a triangle. There was a she was making a triangle with her hands. So I assumed that they wanted me to bring out this mudra deck to pull out a card from that, because it has like all the hand um movements in it and hand uh positions, I guess. So the other thing too is all the bees that I was running into, like their bees are really like, that's the connection. Like they symbolize the connection from our guides and our loved ones or whatever, communicating with us. Like there's that connection between earth and sky. And also I saw the rainbow, and the rainbow pretty much represents almost the same thing. It's like a new beginning. It's like the light and the darkness. Like it's the connection between the earth and the divine, basically, right? So these have been like repeated messages in my visions. Now also when they did that complete circle around me, when that bee and the bees were all different sizes and shapes, and we have like a huge, a different amount of species of bees here. And when it did that complete 360 around me, it made me think that it had to do with like some kind of completed cycle, that you've come to some kind of it's like you've been able to like let go of the past, or transform the past somehow. Now, I also had visions of butterfly, and that again, it has to represent like, that transformation, like all that, that slow process that it takes. But I believe that you're also breaking bad habits and making changes in your lifestyle. Also, um I was getting the impression, I saw a vision of a crab twice. Like I saw it like with the beginning of my meditation, and then on my way back I saw another crab. And it was weird too, because I was getting like double confirmations, like of the woman making the triangle with her hands. And what I thought was actually quite funny was this deck here, there is a triangle there, and I'm just like, oh yeah, kind of like that. And I think that has to do with a complete cycle as well. So, and I also saw three crows, and three crows actually is like the completion of a cycle. So I was getting like repeated messages about that. The other thing too is I saw the vision of a quarter moon. I'm not quite sure what the moon is all about. Um, Also, I was seeing like the crab is associated with the goddess Isis, and the crab represents like different things, but it has to do with like, that protective shell basically. And it has to do with like the importance of creating and maintaining an emotional and physical boundaries to ensure your well-being. So I think this is something that you are working on, and maybe that's where it comes in about releasing those bad habits and bringing in a new lifestyle. Also, those bees, because they were all different shapes and sizes, it made me think that, well, people come in all shapes and sizes. So I'm pretty sure they're talking about like when they're talking about like all the masses, and they brought up like cultures too. So I'm thinking that like when they're talking about that they were going to be cleaning and releasing the energy grids. Oh, releasing. It's funny I use the word releasing. Anyway, when they were talking about the energy grids, like they gave me the impression that that's going to be for all cultures, for all religion, for everyone. It's going to be for all shapes and sizes and all walks of life, basically. Now, the other thing too that I was getting visions on were I was visioning a salmon, and that talks about and speaking to your intuition, having that deep inner knowing. And that has to do with like it's from freshwater to seawater to like, you know what I mean, like it basically travels the world. So again, that's that circular thing that they keep talking about, the movement forward. I heard when, and I also saw, like, it was weird because I even saw a teapot and I thought, well, that's strange, like but the teapot also has to do with like that, that emotional, like, it's like a structure that holds everything that, like it steeps together, like everything has time to like um process, basically. So I'm pretty sure they're talking about your emotional and your psychological process in your subconscious. So, and why I believe that you're transforming that. And then also it means nature cycles too, because that teapot also represents like the four elements of the earth, which are the leaves of the tea, the air, um, and the fire, which is the heat, and the water, of course. And I saw dragons, I saw horses, and I saw that in like two different visions of the horses, which is like, and they were galloping. So that means that there's like a faster movement coming through. So I think that has to do with those grid lines and how they're moving that energy. I also had a vision of an eagle, and the quarter moon actually and the crab have a lot in common, because those speak to me about like taking action, letting go, cutting ties even. And like a crab, like they pick away at the old things that are not useful to much other anyone else. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like, like a salmon, it lives its life, it lays its eggs. Everybody knows what happens with a salmon. In the end, it dies. And a crab will come along and will pick its flesh and remove all of what it, and, transform it into something else. So that, also I had a vision of a rat, and a castle. So yeah, the castle, which is like basically a house, a sanctuary, security, safety, protection even. So, again, that's kind of like the crab shell, that protection. So it's just repeated thingies. They wanted us to be aware about keeping our auras clean and clear, and balance our chakras and keep grounded well into Gaia. They also they said that, you know you're an incredible survivor, you're finding your way, you actually are surprising people, or you have been surprising people. You're a nurturer, you're very clever, sorry, I don't know what clever is. You're very clever, you're very intellectual, you're adaptable, you have like, they were talking about supersonic hearing, and in hearing spirit. So I believe they kept bringing up about the hearing. So I think you could be hearing spirit. They're saying that you have like a curiosity, and you're just looking for peace at this time. So with that, all that, it's a big download, I must say. So there was a lot to decipher. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going to first pull out a card. So if you're new here, I'm going to pull out this card, and I'll read this at the end of the reading. This is a new deck that I've only ever used once, and look at that. I don't even know how to say any of these words. But at first I thought that was a triangle. Oh my God, but the infinity symbol's there. Oh, and the crows. There's crows and the infinity symbol when I split the deck. And I did mention that infinity symbol. So what goes around comes around. So they keep talking about the world. What's going on around the world. See, yeah, and it's, oh, yeah, that's not good. Whatever's going on around the world. Yeah, those elements. They keep talking about the elements and the importance of those elements. Okay, Spirit, we're ready. What is it that you want us to know here? Okay, Spirit, anytime. They want me to cut the deck, so I'm just going to try to do that on camera here. Okay. It's this one here. I'm not even going to try. Akasha Mudra. I don't know what that means, because it's a new deck. Actually, all of these are brand new decks. Every deck I'm using, except for a couple off to the side here that's not on camera. These are all new decks, so I haven't used any of these decks before. So this should be an interesting read, I would think. Okay, I'm going to see what that card that does have. It does have a little blurb to it. Oh, they don't have these. I wonder if these are about alphabetical order. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Okay, so limitless possibilities is what it's called here. Oh my God. Either element, spring, clean. Oh my goodness. Words are so little. Ether element, spring cleaning, within and without, space, letting go, relieve feelings of heaviness, love, simply give and share. And I did talk about that letting go. And the crab was representing like that cleaning the oh my gosh. And the ether is an element of air. Okay, so just for anyone that's new to this channel, I just want to let you know that I am a psychic and an energy intuitive. I don't know if I actually even said that. Okay, so there's quite a bit to unpack with that card, but that will be done at the end of the reading. So where do you want me to begin here, Spirit? Okay, let's move this one aside. All right, so we're going to start with this deck here. Akashic Records. Isn't that I wonder if that has anything, because that's like almost the same word. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. The Akashic Records is wherever all the information is kept. Clearing old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. You want that card, Spirit? Oh, these cards are so sticky because they're new. I don't know if that's one card or two. I think that's one card. Oh, look. And it's the world, star being healing codes, important information, wounds are healed, recharging. That's why it's so slow. Things are coming so slow. Oops, the deck upside down. Okay, Spirit. They kept bringing up about the world, like the circle. They kept bringing up the circle. They brought it up to me like several times. Wow, look at that. The doorway. Supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirth by light. I don't think you want that, do you, Spirit? These cards are so sticky. I don't think they want that. No, I heard no. They don't want that. On the bottom, Emerald Tablet, Cosmic Order, and Divine Alchemy. Yeah, and that's that when they were talking about that subconscious. They were talking about a lot about how like going into your subconscious and processing all those feelings and working through it. Okay. I don't know what's going on with these cards because they're so new. They're really sticky. Oh my God. This card's on the bottom and it says Inner Earth, Base Chakra, Strength, and security and laying foundations. And I was just talking about that, like with the rooted, when they were talking about the rooted, about laying those foundations. Look, and that card came up again. So I'm going to say that they want this card here. They brought it out twice. Okay. Yeah, Palladian activation. They're saying here, come together, harmony in the heavens, resolution. That's that coming to that complete conclusion, whatever that conclusion or that don't want me to leave that out. I don't know if you can see it though. Wow, Spirit. Not sure what's so important about that card. Okay, so here we go. Clearing old stories, yeah. Seeing the important information, because they kept telling me that they had important information to tell us. So, where do you want to start next, Spirit? This one. This is a new deck as well. Surprised they pulled out all these new decks. Okay, Spirit, what is it you want us to know here? Yeah, you know, I keep hearing, like I'm looking at this card and I keep hearing, as above, so below. You know, and they were talking about protecting your aura and your chakras to balance them and keep grounded into earth, the inner earth. Yeah, that's great here. Okay. They're telling me just to pull this one out here. Hera, number 3. Oh, look at that. Compassion, nurturing, and the alpha female energy. The alpha female energy. Poseidon. It says turmoil, emotions, and deep feelings. That's the clearing out those deep feelings, processing them, doing that alchemy is what I heard. It alchemizes those old things. You're alchemizing everything and bringing in, like, because they're doing the energy grids, the angels. Oh my God, that explains it. Look, Apollo came out again. Optimism, happiness, joy, and warmth. You have the moon and the sun. Wow, Spirit, that's amazing. And the earth here too. Look at that. And then you have Zeus. You have here power, deception, alpha male energy. That doesn't mean like the males are like deception or anything, but it has the female energy and the male energy. That is wicked amazing. Okay. So you have numbers 3, 5, and 2, and then 3 and 2 make 5. So you, and fives are Spirit, what's going on right now? The fives are change. Yes, Spirit. They also had brought out using the frequency of 432. They also brought out the numbers 313 and 33 and then 123, and then there was a lot, so there's a lot of twos, ones, and threes going on here. Sorry, I needed a drink. I'm so thirsty. Okay, so I want to bring out an, okay, so they're asking me to bring out take time to breathe out. Yeah, disseminating moon. That is you know, taking that time for yourself. What's going on here? Oh my God. All right, Spirit. Okay. The answers you need are coming. Yeah, I don't know what else Spirit has for us in store today, but I'm going to tell you that that quarter moon that I saw, that was it was pretty strong. Okay, they spit one out here. Surrender to the divine. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and they were just talking about, like, you know, trust in the divine plan, like trust in that plan. And nothing is yet set in stone. And you know, I saw that castle, and it was a stone. It had a stone siding on it, or have faith in your dreams. You know what? And this card is funny because when I split the deck, when I took it out of the box and I split the deck, it split open on this. And I thought, oh, I don't think I've ever seen this card. And it has the butterflies in it. I didn't even know that I didn't even notice that card before. Oh my God, I just realized that's like a full moon. You got a lot of circles here. And that's what I was saying. Like, you could even be like seeing a lot of circles even. Not just those triangles. Okay, so they want me to bring out an animal oracle here, so I'm going to do that. Crow on the bottom. Yeah, and I saw that crow. And then I was seeing, I saw those 3 crows too, but I was, at first, I just kept seeing, like, on my walk, it was just like one crow by itself. And I thought it was weird because when I was in the woods, I saw one by itself. And then when I was walking down one street, I saw one by itself. And crows, you don't usually see them alone. And it wasn't until I just got almost to the house that I saw 3 of them together. And I said, oh, well, that seems a little bit better. Because crows, you're not normally alone. They're usually always in groups or pairs. Okay, Spirit, what is it that you want us to know here from this animal deck? The guidance of the zebra, number 44. I am patient and wait for the whole story to unfold before judging others. That's very good because, oh, look, and then look, I just noticed that there's another circle there on that. Look, there's a circle right there on that card. There's a lot of circles, a lot of completion. I heard, oh my goodness, and on the bottom, look at the bees. And even that has a big circle because they did that big circle around me. And different sizes too. The guidance of the queen bee. It's 42. I embrace the living manifestation of benevolence and devoted contribution. Oh, look, and it's got the triangle. Yeah. And that's the element of air, yet again. There was something else about that came out about air too. Okay, so we're going to keep the zebras and the bees out, because the bees are really important, because the bees are the ones that have been bringing a lot of messages from spirit. Oh my God, and on the bottom is protection. Yeah, they're asking me to bring out my ruins. Solitude. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Ask for help. Okay, let's just see what's going on here. Whoa. Oh, these cards are so sticky because they're new. Solitude again. Maybe you've been in a lot of solitude. These cards are super sticky. All right, let's see here. See if we can get a card out. Here we go. Magical Gateway. Oh my God, you're not even going to believe this. I swear, I should really, when I'm doing the pre-downloads, I really should be recording it, because this card popped out when I was shuffling. And it's like I said, it's a brand new deck. Magical Gateway. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown. Yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. And that is a confirmation about when I was talking about in my pre-download, and I was talking about how the movement forward, and and how you're listening to, like, you don't see it, but you're listening to it. You yeah, because what they were talking, look, and there's temptation. They talked about that temptation as well. Because they were talking about yeah, you might be getting some negative energy coming at you, trying to tempt you, because like you could be somebody that maybe had given up drinking alcohol, or maybe you're on like a diet or an exercise program or a spiritual program or something, and you could be getting like these temptations, and that's why there's so much heavy protection around you right now. That's why there's so much spirit, because they were telling me that they really need this message to get to people. And so the temptation says, are you in denial about an unhealthy habit? Good grief. Perhaps one that makes you feel guilty. This fairy says you have the power to overcome temptation whenever it's guys. Yeah. Yeah, and look, and then flourishes right comes out on the bottom. The lotus flower fairy tells you to learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life or those of others. So yeah, I think that's where okay, because they were talking about how that deep inner knowing, and they were talking about how that they were talking about how I don't know, what were you saying there, Spirit? I can't remember what you were saying to me just a minute ago. Oh yeah, about the with the crab, and about how the importance of creating and maintaining an emotional and physical boundaries to ensure your well-being. And then they brought up even the goddess Isis, because Isis is associated with the crab, and picking away at the old, like the pain and any past events and all of that. And then also they were talking about how keeping yourself grounded and protect and having yourself in this protection, because they were talking about that house and the castle and all that. Okay. And like this is bringing like some kind of this, because you've completed the cycle, some kind of cycle. Like even that door looks round. And you know that comes right out, like that comes right out underneath another door. Look. So you're actually doing really well. But they're warning you about those temptations, to try to be careful of those. Okay, Spirit. Now what else? Okay. I'm supposed to oh, okay. So it's just like this then. Okay. So they want me to bring out a book, actually. Oh, my ruins. Okay, now I know what they're talking about. I didn't know what they were talking about. Sometimes they have me go through a book and pull out a thing, but so they're gonna have me do that. But they're asking me to pull out a ruin here, and I'm not really sure what the ruin is about or why they're asking for one. Okay. That's the ruin. Let me just put these all back here. This ruin means it's called oh, it's it represents water, actually. So it's Perthroth is the name, or Perthro, I guess is probably the better name. And it talks about fate, secrets, chance, and destiny. So this is some kind of destiny that's happening here. Okay. This is your destiny. I mean, I just opened it to this, and it says they fear women leaders the same way they fear an impending hurricane. They fear women leaders the same way they fear an impending hurricane. Both are determined. Both are merciless. We will not stop fighting until we change the entire landscape they created. Persist always. And you know what? I kept hearing that song too. What was that song called? It talked about oh, what was the name of that song? I meant to write it down. I was making a cup of tea and it kept going over and over in my mind. And the song was about like, we'll never give up. We'll never give up. No matter what anybody says, we will never give up. And then I just opened it on that. Is there another message in here, Spirit? Okay. It says here, the tiniest steps are arguably the most important. So, oh my God. And they were talking about how things were so slow with the arrow. Okay. Arguably the most important. So long as they're going in the right direction, the arrow again. But if you end up wandering paths you've outgrown, there's nothing to worry about. Finding your way is something that takes practice. And practicing means you're bound to make some mistakes. Look at it this way. At least you'll have wisdom to share. Exactly, Spirit. Because they were talking about how that you always rise above challenges, and that there's movement, and the horses are like, like that movement forward. And then you have like, well, I don't know if the zebra are part of that horse family or not, but I mean, people do ride them, I guess. Also, they were talking about how you're finding your way. Like you're an incredible survivor and you're finding your way and you're surprising people. And you're like a nurturer, you're clever, you're intellectual, you're adaptable, and you have this supersonic hearing. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, like, horses actually have really, really super good hearing. And I would assume that so would the zebras. And where it comes in twos, so where it's got the two here, it's telling me like there's a balance going on, because you have your strong feminine energy, and you have your strong, you have your alpha female and your alpha male. You know what? Oh yeah, and I just realized too that the yin and yang came out in that. Okay, that's a very good spirit. Ouch! Oh, I just whacked my knee. Dang, that hurt. Okay, so yeah, they're talking a lot about the elements as well. So this one here. Okay, so let me read that card. Oh, it's a book. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I think these are in alphabetical order. Okay, this is new. I need my. Okay, so. Okay, so the Akasha Mudra helps to alleviate physical heaviness and clear troubled feelings. Okay, so it says here, find a simple place within, a sacred void. It asks that you not fear the emptiness you may feel at this time. When we create space inside ourselves, we allow for the birthing of something miraculous. This is that new beginning, because you've completed a cycle of some sort. You may also need to create a space on a physical level. Do that long overdue spring cleaning. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Donate anything that no longer serves you. Creating space in the material world around you will also cleanse and free up your etheric level, enhancing your spiritual well-being. You will feel lighter and more attuned to spirit. Tune in to the fine vibrations of this subtle and multi-purpose mudra. Allow for the void, a nothingness filled with potential. Limitless possibilities arise if you let go, release, and make space to usher in new. So because you're completing a cycle, you're going to be starting a new cycle. So it would be wise to clear out like any of that old clutter or whatever, that spring cleaning they're talking about, especially in spring, because like every new season brings a whole new thing. You know what I mean? Like the 4 cycles of the 4 cycles. Yeah, because they were talking about like the 4 elements, the 4 cycles. Oh, that's why you brought up the cycles 4 times. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so among the great things which are found among us, the being of nothingness is the greatest. That's a saying from Leonardo da Vinci. So the affirmation here is, I await in simple garb, open and receptive, the touch of the divine upon my brow, an ocean of love about me. They're bringing up that water again. Okay, they wanted me to bring out another card from this deck, the Dimensions of Light here. And then I'm going to close the reading. I don't know what they want from this deck. I think they wanted me to bring it down earlier, but I forgot about it. What are you trying to split on here? Okay, so there's something in here they want you to know. Okay, here, let's see what we have here. Which one, Spirit? They're saying both. Number 1 and number 26. Okay. So this is 26 here, which is an 8, which is the infinity symbol yet again. That's the second, third time the infinity came up in this reading. And number 1 is a new beginning. Spirit. Oh, and it goes right out. It comes right out on the gateways. Look at that. The number 1 comes out on both of these doors. But you need to walk through that. I don't know what that's about. Okay, so 26. Let's do that one first. Future human. Oh my gosh, Spirit. Oh, here we go. So humanity is evolving. Like I said, they're cleaning that energy grid, and with that energy grid, they're going to be able to bring in new energies. Okay, so the future human is growing from the spiritual ground, currently being tended by highly individualistic, creative soul types who live in harmony with a loving interconnection to their journey of healing and awakening. The founding spiritual fathers and mothers, look, fathers and mothers, Spirit blows me away. Okay, sorry, I got off. The founding spiritual fathers and mothers of the evolving human collective need a strong sense of self to engage actively with others without losing their own voice. Oh, yeah, and they were showing me, I had a vision of a salmon, and the salmon had its mouth open, and what did I write down for that? Oh, speaking your inner knowing. It's about speaking your inner knowing. And that they travel all around the world. Yeah, okay. You could be somebody that's doing that. Your voice could be emanating all around the world, or is going to be. The mothers evolving, collective strong. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Such souls need to remember to stay true to their work, recognizing that this doesn't have to separate them from others. Rather, it strengthens the clarity and helpfulness of what they can offer. Continue to develop yourself. In doing so, those around you benefit from your increasing spiritual maturity. Nurture, and I even talked about nurturing, nurture your hopeful heart and continue to contribute positively toward what can be for future generations of humanity. I'm telling you, if they're working on that grid, I swear to God, and you know what, the Ankh is even here. And the Ankh is where the earth and spirit realm, the divine connects. Oh, the connection of that. Okay, number 1 is veil of mystery. And you know what? The veil of mystery, because you don't know what you're walking through here. Like this is you know what I mean? Like you're just walking through these doors, but you don't know what's on the other side because you can't really see. And they were talking about that too in the pre-download, that you're listening to what you can't see. So that means that, like just have that trust, and maybe you are trusting. Maybe it's, to continue. Okay, so veil of mystery. There will be times when we lack clarity. In such moments, the intellect often rushes to save the day, analyzing what is known to discover what is yet knowable. To discover what is not yet knowable. That creates further confusion. There is a spiritual veil over part of your life at present. What is being hidden is not something to fear, but something you will embrace in due course. So why is it being hidden from your knowledge at this time? Knowing that the end of a story before reading it may soothe an anxious mind, but it also prevents one from growing through the journey. Allow yourself to be at peace in the face of the unknown. These circumstances are only temporary. Your story shall have its happy fulfillment, whether in the way you expect, at the time you expect, or not. Your answers will come, but for now, the guidance is to be patient. Oh, Spirit, I swear, like their messages are always so like the pre-downloads to like the cards that they pull out and to the messages in the end. Beautiful, Spirit. Okay, so with that, everyone's doing really well. So get ready for a whole new, like spring is here for like at this part of the world, spring is here. But I know as spring is coming, coming into full, soon we'll be into a new season of summer. And then other places of the world are going to be into their new season of fall and winter and so on. So with every new season, there's like a new doorway from what I can understand here. So this is really good because it's, I mean, and there's so much like round, 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 round. So it's telling me over and over and over, like with all this round, the moon, the world, the sun, like everything. Um, it's amazing. I mean, even with the bees, there's a round symbol in that. And even like here in the, okay, Spirit. I mean, and even this has like a round thing to it. So this is going to be for everyone. Everyone in the entire world is going to be in a higher level of evolution. So this is really, so we're bringing in a new world, and this is very exciting. So thank you, Spirit, for bringing in this beautiful message and encouragement. Thank you, guides, because I know our loved ones have a lot to do with this, with all those bees that have been like buzzing around. um that's our loved ones coming in to reassure us that everything is going well. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of. That's all this work that's going on around, outside of us. And this is really good because although we're changing on the inside, they're actually changing the world at the same time. So we're all going to start getting into a better frequency, and things are going to be more harmonious and peaceful. And that's going to be good because the world really needs some peace at this time, and so do all the individuals that are in it, and animals included. So thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to bring this message to the collective. And to the collective, I hope this gives you some encouragement and some hope. And just know that even though you might feel like nothing's really happening, that a lot is actually happening. So I hope this finds you well, and I hope this is helping to support you on your journey. And I want you to have a wonderful day. Sending love and light.